Given how old these Jeeps are and the history they have, you can't always be sure if it's been replaced already or not. Here's a comparison of the original equipment one from my Jeep next to the Crown replacement. The housings when they're in the vehicle are virtually identical, there's not much there, but the bolts that hold the cover on for the original equipment one do not have any washers. The replacement one from Crown has washers on it. The cap that is held on by these bolts for the original equipment one has 4 circles and a number 2 molded on the inside of it. The replacement one has nothing. This bolt on the original equipment one that holds the sensor on is 10 millimeters. On the replacement one, it's 8 millimeter. Look at the color difference. Okay, to get started, disconnect the negative battery terminal and make sure that you're in neutral. Loosen up the air tube, the clamps at both ends. Don't take them off, just loosen them up. And loosen this end and slide it over, being careful not to overextend that wire. That'll give you enough room to work. This wiring harness is actually connected to what we're working on, but it gets in the way. So I'm using a long cable tie to go around the coil rail and just zip tie it up out of the way. Okay, with the 10 millimeter, I'm disconnecting the sensor. I've seen some people reuse this sensor. If you're going to, be aware that there's some blue Loctite on the bolt. I'm not going to reuse it. I'm going to disconnect both sides of it. On this side, I'm using a flathead screwdriver to disconnect this from the hanger that's on the wire loom. It's just a little push-in. And over here, to disconnect this side, the best trick for this is to use a pair of channel locks, but offset them. The bottom is on the red part, but the top is on the black housing. And just open up that clip. Now depress this tab and pull the 2 pieces apart. Now take a couple of pictures of this. When you reinstall the new one, you're going to want to make sure that it's in the right position. And now I'm removing the cap. It's just 2 T25 little bolts, and the cap pops right up. Okay, from underneath the vehicle in the front, I'm going to reach up with a 3/4 or 19 millimeter and rotate the engine. This is actually not hard to do. You don't need a lot of force to do it. You can do it with a pretty standard ratchet too. Watch the OPDA turn as I turn the engine. I've edited out myself getting up after every time I turn this and looking to see where it is. I'm clocking it until it lines up. It ends up aligning with a hole in the bottom of the housing. That means it's a top dead center. And I'm putting a small screwdriver in there to make sure that it stays there. To show where that is, if you compare it to the replacement one, you can see there's a little white retainer, and also you can see some light coming through the bottom. That's a drain hole. Don't make the mistake of getting that instead. This is the best thing you can get for this job. I've seen some other things recommending a 1/2 inch 6-point wrench, but it's awkward to use those. This is very easy to use. It fits directly underneath, grabs the bolt easily, and turns with a regular 3/8 inch ratchet. And after that's as loose as you can get it, I've found the best way was a finger from each hand and kind of twist it between them and then reach around and pull the bolt out. A little awkward, but not too bad. This is the retaining piece, and you can see it's got a little lip on the end. That lip goes downwards. Okay, this is important. When you pull this out, watch the gear-looking center part of it turning independently of the housing there. You don't want that. As you lift it, turn the housing at the same time that that's rotating. Okay, if that went well, everything should come out perfectly aligned for the new one to go in. However, at the bottom of that hole is the oil pump, and this end of it is what drives the oil pump. It just spins it in a circle, and it's like a screwdriver, and it goes into this slot at the top of the oil pump. That's what it looks like inside of that hole. So if you need to rotate it, just turn it. But if it came out correctly, everything should be lined up and it should catch. The way you'll know that's wrong is when you put this in, start it rotated more towards the back and let it turn towards the front. Again, this is what it should look like. It just looked better on this one. It was hard to see it with the dark color of the new one. But they should go in synchronized, and it should rotate about that much. Make sure it lines up in the same position as the picture you took when earlier. If not, it's just the gear tooth that's off, and just pick it up and give it a little better rotation going in. If it doesn't land flush like this on the bottom, you can see the gasket is in there. Make sure that's there too. If it doesn't land flush, your oil pump is misaligned. Just take a screwdriver, put it in the hole, and turn it. The cap has a square and a circle side. Get those lined up and replace that and the small bolts that hold it in place. I'm just making those finger tight right now. The assembly isn't really in place tightly, so I don't want to put a tool on it. This is the retainer piece, and the easiest way I found to put it in is from this side. It basically just falls into place. And that's what that looks like. The bolt I found was easiest with 2 fingers from the same side. And then I kind of reached around it with my thumb and middle finger and wiggled it into place. And with that tightened down, I can tighten down the cover bolts. Now I'm connecting the new sensor. Just push it in, get it as snug as you can, and slide the red retainer down. And then on the new side, the push pin goes into the hanger. Now it's time to take this cable tie off and make sure that the harness is moving freely. And reconnect the air hose.